Welcome everyone to Podjitzu. Yeah, Podjitzu is back, everyone. I'm SPI, the usual host for this kind of thing, and this Podjitzu is going to be a little bit different. Instead of it just being me and Luke, it's going to be me hosting it. Luke might join in for an episode or two, but this is actually going to be a different kind of Ninjago podcast where I record with a different Ninjago YouTuber each episode. And on this episode, I have brought on a very special guest, MikeRMProductions.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Yeah.
How are you doing today, FBI?
I am doing awesome because I'm glad that Podjitzu is back, and I'm glad that you're on the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Basically, for these episodes, I'm going to start them out, instead of news, I'm going to start them out with some questions, do a little interview. So, Mike, is there anything that you want to say before we jump into this?
Nothing much, except Ninjago, I guess.
Is that a pun? Like Ninjago? Like I should go?
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess let's start the Podjitzu.
Are you ready for your questions?
Yeah, of course. I'm ready for some questions.
Okay, very deep question right here. How did you get into Ninjago?
Okay, well, I got into Ninjago when I was very little. I was about 11, and mostly I got into it when I started getting into Cartoon Network, but that was only because I was into Star Wars. And basically, when I was little, I saw Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I decided to watch it. And then during the commercial breaks, I saw like commercials for different shows, including this one Lego show about ninjas, and I was shocked because I never knew such a thing existed. I'm like, why is there a show about talking Lego ninja? Like,
Yeah.
Like, why is this a thing? Like, I was so confused. And then eventually I ended up getting a sticker book when I went to an airport to go to Florida. And then I looked at the sticker book and I'm like, wow, there's so many unique characters here, like Samurai X, Scales, Lord Garmadon, Wu. Like, there's so many characters. And eventually I also got into the sets, and when we got back, I was more than excited. I watched the TV show, except the episodes were out of order, but eventually I saw it all in order, and I figured out how Ninjago actually works.
Nice. So you joined in at like 2012, would you say?
Yeah,
like for season 1?
Basically between seasons 1 and 2.
So when did like your YouTube channel come about? Like did it start from Ninjago, or like based off of something else? How did your YouTube channel kind of start?
Mostly it was based off Ninjago and a few other themes, mostly Ninjago, but back then it was just a regular Lego channel. Like, I got inspired back during Rebooted when I saw Brickmaster C and Amazing Lego 123. Now it's known as AL123 Productions. Like, I watched their videos, and then I got inspired to do it. So once 2016 came, when the Sky Pirate season, that's when I started the channel, and then I decided to add Ninjago videos. I also tried Chima, even though I was late, and then I just gave up on that.
Were you a fan of Chima? Like, did you like it, or were you just kind of like, I don't know?
I actually enjoyed Chima. Like, at first I was worried after once I first saw it, I got worried, because I'm thinking, is this supposed to replace Ninjago? But then I actually got into the concept, and the characters and storyline was actually interesting, but it wasn't enough to replace Ninjago. Once it ended, I was like, okay, I'm glad to be done with it, but it was fun while it lasted. So I actually did like Chima, but Ninjago is always going to be better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, like Chima was just one of those themes where it was a really good idea, but I don't know if they carried it out as well as they could. Which, I mean, I've talked about that on Podjitzu before, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff to get into on this podcast, guys. We're gonna get into like so many new topics that you haven't heard before on Podjitzu. Speaking of new stuff, Mike, on your channel, what's your current series? What's like your newest type of thing that you're doing right now?
Well, right now, so far I'm doing Ninjago Season 13 Forbidden, based off Ninjago Season 11 Secrets of the Forbidden Ninjitsu.
Oh yeah.
I also started a Lego Hidden Side series, but I'm thinking about making it short again. Like, I might do like a couple more episodes, and then I'm not sure how it's gonna go, because so far its future looks pretty bleak, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also hoping to do some Star Wars videos later this year, if it does well.
Yeah. Do you have any other future plans for your channel? Or even like distant future? Like stuff in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm hoping to see how I'll be doing, I guess. Like, it depends on where my channel goes with the subscribers and the views, and if it's enough to motivate me to continue making videos for a long time, or if I should be doing more than just YouTubing and seeing what else there is out there.
Okay.
But for right now, I'm definitely continuing YouTube, and I definitely continue my Ninjago series for a long time. At least 2 more years, maybe longer. I just want to see how it goes.
Yeah. So you're going forward with Ninjago, and that's going to be kind of like your main thing moving forward, right?
Yep, it'll be my main thing, but I'll also do my best to add more kind of content on my channel as well.
Okay, this is kind of a fun question. If you could have any element in Ninjago, what would it be and why?
That's a cool idea. If I could have any element, it would probably be... Man, that's a good question. If I could have any element...
It can be anything. It can even be Dareth's power that made him have to use the bathroom a lot.
It's definitely not going to be Dareth's power. If I had to choose one, I would probably want the power of speed.
Oh, yeah. That would be so cool. You wouldn't have to, like, get a car or anything. You could just run everywhere.
Basically, it would be really fun to just be able to run everywhere.
Wait, can Griffin Turner do things faster, too? Like, not just run? I can't remember.
And so far, he can run really fast, but I don't think he can actually do the dishes fast or watch TV fast. Like, I don't think he can do anything fast other than running. They don't give us enough with his character.
Well, at least I would never be late to class.
Yep, same here.
I guess for me, the element I would choose, if I do this question multiple times, I'm going to have to do a different element each time. So I'm just going to give my best one right now, the one that I've thought of before. If there were other people that existed in this world with, like, elemental powers, like if I was the only one, if I was, this would be dumb, but I would like the elemental power of Amber. So, like Skylar's power, like stealing powers. Not stealing them, but like copying them, kind of. I'm not out to steal your powers, but I would definitely want that speed.
I did consider Amber, but then I realized that having to touch everything just to have their powers would be too much to handle.
Wow, your dog wants to be in the podcast too.
She does.
Mike's dog. What kind of power would you want in Ninjago?
Let's ask her.
If you could recommend just one video on your channel for the viewers, or the listeners, I guess, of this podcast, what would it be and why?
If I had to choose one, it would probably be Lego Ninjago growing up, because I think it would be a cool idea for everyone to see my interpretation of the ninja getting older.
That's a funny one. I would recommend that too. Are you ready to get into this topic now?
Yes, of course.
So in season 11, I just want to hear your thoughts about it. I'm gonna give my opinion too. But what have you thought about season 11 so far?
So far,
chapters.
So far, when I saw season 11, I had to go through the fire chapter first, and honestly, it was rather disappointing.
Disappointing?
Yeah, because in the fire chapter, there's a lot of filler that has nothing to do with the storyline. It felt like watching Minions or Despicable Me 3, or like, this is something Illumination would come up with. Like, they have a story, but then they ruin it with a bunch of filler and unnecessary plots that don't actually have anything to do with the story. For one episode, like, there's one episode where it looked like it was gonna be awesome, but then it turned out to be a whole episode of news reporters.
I mean, they brought on Fred Finley though, or Finley, however you pronounce his name.
It would have been better if he was in the Ninjago movie, or if he was introduced differently in the show.
Yeah, that's a good point. That episode wasn't my favorite. I guess, like, overall for me, I enjoyed the fire chapter for the most part. Like, there were some really good episodes in it.
That's true.
Like the Nelson one I loved.
Like there's a lot of episodes. It got much better near the end of the fire chapter, when it had a lot more. There was a lot more action and appeal. Like, it worked a lot better. Like, the fire chapter wasn't bad. I just feel like they could have made it a little more relevant.
True. And Asphira probably could have used a little bit more character development. Like, she came in on what, the 4th episode?
5th episode, actually.
5th episode. That's
they should have just started the whole season with the ninja going into the pyramid and accidentally releasing her. That's what they should have done.
Yeah. I liked the first episode. The second one was okay. They did not need to include the bug stuff, though. I was like, why are they doing this?
Yeah, like that. They could have added the Fire Fang instead. That would have been much cooler.
It's just like they got a new vehicle. They get a land bounty, which very controversial, by the way. Some people think it's a stupid idea. Some people think it looks really cool. Personally, I I like it. Like I think it looks really cool, but at the same time, they have the Destiny's bounty. Like they could just fly over the desert, not even encounter the beetle at all,
I know.
and just
Yeah,
get
I
to the
know. It makes no
pyramid.
sense. Like,
Yeah, the ninja have so many vehicles. I don't know how they've made so many in
I
so
know.
little time.
Like they just make it. They just have a vehicle and then they never use it again with no explanation.
Yeah, it's sad too because some of them are like really cool, and I'm just like, use the ultrasonic raider again, and they bring back the ultra stealth
That's,
raider for a little bit, and they
they
don't
have
bring it
so
back.
many. They have so many cool vehicles, and yet it's very forgettable. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting about that Twin Ninja Charger too, and that's like the best one.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that is. I'm glad they brought back the Earth Driller, and
Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
vehicle, and like it's really cool.
So aside from that, and like all the filler and stuff, was the fire chapter like? Would you say that it was a pretty good part of the season? I wouldn't call it like a season, but like first half, I guess, of the season, or was it just not as good as other seasons?
No, I felt like it was a decent first half
Yeah.
I mean it was definitely trying to set something up for the rest of season 11. And I also think it was an improvement over March of the Oni, since even though season 10 was a little more well handled than the first half of season 11, I just felt like they had a little more for us to be more interested in. Oh yeah, and also the villain, Esfira, like she's not really my favorite villain. She's feels very basic, like
Revenge.
revenge. And a treacherous deceiver. Like that's all she says. Revenge and treacherous deceiver. I'm glad she had a backstory though, so we at least knew a little more about her than she's just your typical Ninjago villain because she's a snake.
Yeah, I mean, like when she was talking about treacherous deceiver and all that, I was just like, oh, she's talking about Garmadon. Like they're gonna bring Garmadon back, and she's gonna fight Garmadon. The ninja are gonna have to like team up with him again, like try to save Garmadon. Like this is gonna be so cool. And it was Wu again, and I was like, I felt kind of let down. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I liked the chapter overall. Like, I thought there was some really good stuff in it. Like, especially the flashback episode too. Like I mentioned the Nelson episode, but the
like
flashback.
Episode. That was a good one.
Yeah, both of those, and there's some good stuff, like some really good action, and Forbidden Spinjitzu being introduced was just, oh yeah, let's go. Like, I'm so glad they added that. It looks so cool too.
Yeah, I definitely wish Garmadon was the treacherous deceiver, because even though we've had a lot of Garmadon, I wouldn't actually have mind if he somehow made it into the season 11 story arc.
I kind of want to see more of Garmadon, like after March of the Oni.
Same here, because honestly, I think Garmadon was the best well-developed character in season 10.
Yeah, some of the funniest stuff in March of the Oni was probably just Garmadon, just like his comedy. Oh man. Maybe the funniest in the show. Like I was dying of laughter.
Honestly,
that
same
one
here.
scene. There's just the one scene with Lloyd and Garmadon, and Lloyd's like, "Why are you smiling?"
Yes, that's the best one. Like that is the best part. Like honestly, like I definitely think we do need more Garmadon, because seeing how he was resurrected and now he's trying to go into character development as a permanent good guy for the whole show. Like honestly, I would like to see more of him, and also where did he go and why did he leave?
I don't know if he's a good guy necessarily. I think he's just kind of like confused, like he doesn't really know when he was resurrected. So it was like the evil part of him came back, and so he doesn't know what good is, and like that was him trying to like figure it out in March of the Oni, and at the end he decided to like work with the ninja finally, and so I think if they included him in season 11, like when Asphira comes in, he wouldn't even remember like what he did back then probably.
Yeah, like they could have actually used that. That it's not the same Garmadon that we used to know. Like it's a different Garmadon. So he's like, "Wait, who are you?" And she's like, "I am Aspiro." So, oh yeah, and also, what did you think about the Forbidden Spinjitzu?
I'm really into it. Like I think there's so many ways they can take that. Like they could corrupt a ninja with it, which might have been what happened to Zane, as a lot of people are theorizing. But like it's just super cool in fights too. Like if somebody during that last that last episode, or I guess maybe second to last of the fire chapter.
Yeah, the second to last.
When they were fighting Asphira, and like everybody was picking up the scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu, and I was like, let's go! Like that was, yeah,
That was
super
actually
cool.
really good. That was epic. That felt like a good season finale, except it wasn't. It was still continuation, but it felt good.
I wouldn't say it was a bad finale. I think it was just okay. But that scene is like one of those where it's like in a finale that's like what you want to see. I think she's going to come back, or at least I hope so.
I know. Like, I feel like she would have something to do with the ice chapter.
How do you think that would go?
I don't know. Like, basically, Wu would have to work with Asphira to get to the Netherrealm to save the ninja, but then once they get in there, then Wu is betrayed by Asphira, and then basically there's a whole conflict between Asphira and the Ice Emperor, and then Asphira tries to find a way to either absorb the ice or have her fire powers return.
You want to see a Pyro Vipers versus Blizzard Samurai fight? Like, if Sensei Wu, like, teams up with them, and they fight the Blizzard Samurai? I don't know if that could work, but...
I don't know either. Like, why would Wu team up with Asphira?
or, like, the Blizzard Samurai are invading Ninjago, and so the Pyro Vipers, like, have to fight them.
Oh yeah, like that could work for a conclusion in like the last episodes. Like if the Ice Emperor found a way to get to Ninjago, but then the ninja are stranded in the Netherrealm while basically the Ice Emperor and his army is conquering Ninjago, and then Wu has to team up with the Pyro Vipers to defeat them, and then there's a huge war going on while the ninja have to way out of the Netherrealm.
Yeah, I hope that happens. That'd be an awesome ending. Are they going to end with the ice chapter, or are they going to go back to Ninjago and bring back Asphira and like kind of combine them? Like I think it could go either way, which I don't know. I'd rather see them like either team up or fight, like both of the villain factions. Is there anything else that you want to like mention about season 11? Like maybe a little bit into the ice chapter, or
let's go into the ice chapter. So who do you think Zane is the Ice Emperor?
Ooh, I have some videos coming out. I have one on that. I think he is, but there's evidence another way, and I don't want to spoil what the video is going to be too much. But everybody's saying Zane's the Ice Emperor, and I've seen so many videos on it, and I'm like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, so I'm going to try to play devil's advocate. But it's not going to be me. It's going to be Haxor.
Haxor. Good idea.
I'm actually probably going to bring Haxor back to SPI Ninjago just because...
Spin-off series. Haxor spin-off series.
Kind of. It'd be him talking about Ninjago again, though. Like, do you remember when... I don't know if you've seen the videos where, like, he hacked my channel, kind of, and then he was doing Ninjago talk videos?
I might have. It's been a while.
Okay. I'm bringing that back, everyone. And he's going to be talking about how Zane is actually not the Ice Emperor, so stay tuned for that video. A little plug there. And other things about the Ice chapter. I think it's kind of like a straightforward plot line. Like, we kind of know where it's going to go. Like, the ninja are going to storm the castle probably and try to figure out what happened to Zane. Are there any other ways that you think it could go? Like, besides that?
Basically, I guess what would happen is that the ninja would storm the castle, and eventually they would have to fight the Ice Emperor, and but then once they knock off his helmet, they would find out who he really is.
Wasn't there a scene in one of the episodes where Vex was like talking to a prisoner? Yeah,
there was. There was a mysterious prisoner, so...
Garmadon?
Maybe, but there would have to be a reason why he went to the Netherrealm, and how.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be a nice theory.
It would make sense, though, because Vex said the green one will perish.
Oh, yeah.
And Garmadon, like, he may not like the ninja, but he loves his son, so...
Yeah, like, he actually is starting to care about his son more, so maybe. That would be cool if it's Garmadon, because I don't think anyone's expecting that as much.
This next part of the podcast, I didn't tell you about because, well, it's going to be exciting. So, basically... Basically, on previous Podjitzus, I've done an additional segment where I do like, I don't know, it can be a bunch of random things. Like it can be anything. But basically, I had one segment where Luke, my co-host on the other Podjitzu episodes, Like, we stalked Tommy Andreasen on Twitter.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's not as creepy as it sounds. Like, it was called Tommy's Twitter, and we would go on his Twitter and, like, try to, I don't know, find tweets about Ninjago and stuff. We did it on the podcast. And then I had another segment where we read funny hate comments. And then another one where it's like, you guys, the listeners, could submit questions. So I might bring that one back, and maybe the other two. But I want to rename this thing Mystery Segment, and every episode I'm going to like pick something for us to do. This time it's not going to be random, but because I don't have that many ideas yet. But in the future it's going to be random, where I just have like a bunch of ideas and I like pull them from a hat or something. So are you ready for the first one, Mike?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. This idea for the mystery segment, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a Ninjago fan fiction together.
Fun.
Except here's the twist. After one person says a sentence, then the other person has to say a sentence, and it goes on.
Oh, no.
Do you want to start this, or should I start this?
You should start it.
Okay, do you pretty much get what I'm saying? Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it. Sentence after sentence. Sounds good.
I haven't even planned anything. Kai and Jay walk into a room.
They're sitting in the room, drinking coffee and thinking about their lives after they defeated every enemy they could think of.
Sensei Wu gets into the room and hits them both on the head with his staff.
And then he tells them that Cole is missing because it turns out there was an evil monster this whole time created by a mad scientist that is trying to terrorize Ninjago.
So the ninja go into Destiny's Bounty to find out who this mad scientist is.
And then it turns out it's none other than an evil clone of Dr. Julian created by another mad scientist.
And then they figure out that the other mad scientist is actually Clancy.
And then that's when they realize that Clancy is trying to create these monsters.
And then Jay shouts in the middle of a battle, "I have to use the bathroom."
And then Jay goes into the bathroom and then he does his duty until he finds something in this, and then until he accidentally falls down the toilet into the sewer. What do you think about how Ninjago is doing so far?
I think I said this on my last video. It's called 100 Things That Make Ninjago Awesome. But I think that Ninjago has so much more potential, and like with Season 11, it's just something that I completely didn't expect, like having the Pyro Vipers and the Blizzard Samurai. So I think they have so many ideas, like fresh new ideas that they can do. And I think there's so many ways that it can go, and it just has so much more potential. So like people are saying, oh, Ninjago's dying, or oh, Ninjago is going to end soon, like, oh, whatever. Like people have been saying Ninjago is going to end for so many years.
I think there's definitely a lot of new creative ideas they can do hopefully without destroying the show, but instead making it interesting. Because if they can make the Ice chapter really good, then hopefully they can do the same for whatever comes next.
Oh yeah, I think you're definitely right. Like with Season 12, what I've heard so far, I think it's going to be super awesome. So anyway, everybody, if you enjoyed this new Podjitzu, please stick around and subscribe, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos like this one. There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff coming on this channel related to Ninjago Season 11 and just Ninjago in general. So if you're a Ninjago fan, if you love Ninjago, you love talking about it like I do, please consider sticking around, subscribing. The journey has just begun. Well, thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad I was able to be on the podcast. All right, thank you guys for watching this. I'm glad you enjoyed SBI's and MikeRM's conversation. Hopefully you guys have a great day.
See you guys.